Hello everybody, it's the 19th of May today, and looking at some of these root over rock fusion projects that I started 4 or 5 years ago now. There is a playlist if you're interested, showing the creation and subsequent years' work done with them. Has it been a great success? Not entirely, but it also hasn't been a huge failure either. I expected more success with the willows. This is a Salix alba, the white willow. Everyone uses willows for their hurdles and willow statues and things. Get rid of that weed. So I thought they would fuse really well, but in the pot they haven't fused that well. This one has at least gripping the rock. I'm obviously not repotting it. I'm just going to give it a bit of a hard prune, and we do have this little knot of tree forming sat in this little saddle rock here, which is good. So I'm gonna remove this dead piece and then cut back some of these shoots that are coming off the roots, the trunks that are now the roots. I'm going to leave that one and just shorten it back. This piece is actually going to replace this piece, which is dead. So it's a shoot growing off the root, or the trunk that should have been a root. So I'm just going to cut that out. And I'm going to need to replace this grafting tape, which has been on there a little while and is degrading now. But that can be put in like so. So anyway, let's prune away the bits I don't want. I put in a couple of pieces hoping they would root, but I think it's too root bound really, but I've left it too late to root prune it for this year, I think. It's even flowering, so yeah, definitely left it too late. I'm going to cut that piece back to there. That piece back. As I say, I'm just hard pruning this. I just want to keep all the growth in tight now. I think this is going to be my leader. So I'm going to take off that piece, shorten that piece, and then, as I say, I want to bring this piece in. And the hardest part of all of these projects has been keeping the trunks, the roots, in tight to the rock. So at least I've achieved that on this one. I'm actually going to bring it over and under and round. Yes, it'll make the tree knobbly, but I like a gnarly old trunk on a tree. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I loves me an ugly tree. I thought this might even be a shortcut for doing a root over rock project, but it hasn't turned out that way. But it has been fun, so why not? Okay, so that's butchered that one. There are 5 trees in this little series, so a few more. Let's move this one out of the way. That one will go on the bench and just grow on for this year. We have another willow project here, which all I'm going to do is exactly the same. I'm just going to chop back almost everything, almost to the point of starting again. But I'm gradually building a tapered trunk the rock is in there. Fusion is beginning, so yeah. Again, some of these trunks aren't as tight into the rock as I would have liked, but it is gradually getting there, and as the tree fattens and grows, eventually the roots will have to grip the rock. At least that's my thought process. Okay, 3 more including this one to go, and I am saving the most successful and the best for last, so stay tuned, as it were. These are just 3 little conifers that seeded themselves in my garden, and I thought, let's try it. They are growing over the rock. I'm not sure they're not going to push the rock out of the way, in which case they might end up being sort of an exposed root tree, but for now I'm quite happy. They fused really well. I'm actually going to remove this big thick section of trunk here and leave this little piece. No going back now. Okay, so that's lightened its load somewhat. We have a lot of growth in here. I'm going to take out that piece. Obviously I'm not just chopping at random. I have had a sort of gander before I started this video and sort of planned a little bit around what I want to take out, which can possibly be modified. Obviously, as I take a piece out, I might decide the piece I wanted to keep isn't the piece I wanted to keep. I'm going to take out that thick chunk in favour of a smaller one, like so. And then a few pieces around the back here, where it's quite congested. Don't want it to become a great big chunk of wood with lots of shoots growing out of it, but now some people might wire it at this point, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to let it grow on some for another season. Well, that's opened up the centre and is allowing some sight lines into the trunk. I'm going to shorten this back. I'm still undecided on a front. I'm thinking possibly that would be my front. It does give a sight line of all 3 trunks if I zoom you in, and the rock, in which case yeah, I think I would want to keep that and that. But not that. Okay, so that's removed quite a lot of growth, but it's aided in the tapering, and as I say, I think that's going to be my front. I'm going to lose that piece. And that piece, which makes this my new leader. Okay, still a long way to go to make a nice looking tree, but it's getting there, slowly but surely. And all it's cost me is a little bit of compost, a little bit of time, because the trees were free, so that was nice. Not only do I love me an ugly tree, I love me a free tree. Okay, so in this tangled mess, there is a root under all of this, and this is a group of young hornbeams that again were all self-seeded in my garden from the hedgerows nearby, and again all I want to do with this is to just kind of chop it all back and make it a little bit more manageable on the bench. I'm having the same issues with trying to keep the trunks flush to the stone, which is one of the reasons why I don't really want to repot these this year, because I don't want to risk them moving away from the stone when it's out of the pot. So they're going to stay in here for one more year. Some of this I'm leaving on just to help fatten the trunks below, which will be the roots. It's got a face full of water, that was nice. Very refreshing. Okay, so just cutting things back, not really looking for this one for a whole lot of shape. I think this is my front. I've got some interesting roots sort of wrapping around and fusing together. This piece needs to come off. I'm going to leave these little shoots on the base here, as I say, to help fatten the trunks at the base. And then this piece threads through and under, so I'm leaving that on as a kind of sacrifice branch to help fatten up and fill in the gap at the point of the rock here. And there is a gap. Difficult to see how the camera's picking that up, but that will be a sacrifice branch. This one I think can come off when I get to it. It's doing some kind of strange looking thing here, not really contributing very much. So we'll get rid of that. There's a live piece here which will help, and that can pull up. Boom. And so this is going to be my leader. These other pieces I'm going to shorten right back, and there we go. So that's all I'm doing for this tree. It will go back on the bench, and just shorten everything back a little bit more, just so it fits on the bench a little bit better. It'll grow into the other trees, but never mind. Okay, so quick 360 on that one. That I have had the most success with ash and beech, but this is an ash, and as you can see, not only is the trunk wholly fused, I've got some quite nice taper, and it's sat hugging the rock. I didn't get the best placement on the roots, but this was one of my early experiments in this manner, so yeah, I'm quite pleased with it. This is my front, so obviously I'm going to get rid of this piece that's sticking straight out, and I'm going to shorten the top down. I'm kind of undecided as to whether to keep this as a leader. I think I will. So let's shorten that so it's not in the way. There we go. Too late to change my mind now. I think I'll need to wire that into position. I'm going to take off that. That was helping to flatten the base, and that's done a grand job. Just nibble that out. There we go. This piece I'm going to shorten right back to there, giving me a nice little side branch. Lose that shoot. I'm going to shorten this back further. In fact, I'm going to shorten it right back down to there. It'll hopefully shoot on this side, so I don't need to wire it. And then I'm going to take out that piece and that piece, nip out the growing tip here, and I am going to put a little piece of wire on that. And if I can just slide it under that tree to anchor it, this little piece will then do the job. Perfect. All I want to do is to take that back round, like so, rather than being in that 45-degree angle. Perfect. So there we have it. This tree is now, I'm now looking to perhaps begin to grow a little canopy on there. Drop me a little comment in the comment box and let the algorithm know that people are liking the video. Don't forget to like the video, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Thoroughly appreciated. Please do take care of yourselves, people. Stay safe.